So you're lucky in life if some of your greatest loves connect. And that is what happened to me. Okay, so in my life I have a lot of things I really care about. I'm sure you do too. But two of the things I really care about are WWE, that's right, World Wrestling Entertainment, and the U.S. government and history, right? Well, I'm not sure if you guys heard, but over the past week or so, right, those two things have come intertwined. All right, how? Well, they kind of already were intertwined on a side note because President Trump, is also in the WWE Hall of Fame. But I digress. Okay, so I don't know about what you guys have heard in the radio, and I am by far not an expert on this topic, but here's what I do know, right? Saudi Arabia yesterday acknowledged a killing of a journalist in a Turkish Saudi Arabia embassy in Turkey, all right? And they claim that there were about 15 people that flew from Saudi Arabia into this embassy in Turkey to have a discussion about this with this journalist. I believe it had to deal with something about him wanting to get a divorce, but I'm not exactly sure on that fact, so don't quote me on that one fact. But anyway, so he went there. And the thing about it is this journalist, he is not a big fan of the new crown prince of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is still a constitution, or still a monarchy. I think it's a constitutional monarchy. But anyway, so they still have a king and that kind of thing. Okay, so they have a new royal prince, and he's making a lot of reforms and changing kind of the culture and aspect of Saudi Arabia. This journalist didn't like it. Was a part of the Saudi Arabian government at one time. Kind of had a falling out, and that's kind of why they were having conflict, right? He, like I mentioned before, he was a journalist. He posted articles and stuff in the U.S. newspapers, which is one reason why it's kind of in the U.S. news is because he had posted for U.S. newspapers. Anyway, so we don't exactly know how he was murdered yet. Or why. Saudi Arabia has said that it was kind of an interrogation. They had a conflict while they were talking, and the guy, got knocked out in a fist fight and died. However, as far as I know, there's been no bodies. There are two limos that left separately. One went into the woods, so they don't know if possibly that's where the body is. Saudi Arabia has claimed that the guy has been killed or did die, and a lot of officials in Saudi Arabia are taking the fall. Like some people I think were arrested. I think two top government people were demoted or maybe, I don't know, questioned or something like that. Again, don't know all the facts of that story, so I encourage you. It's really big in the news right now, especially with this new election coming up with Saudi Arabia, because they are one of our biggest allies in the Middle East. All right, we tend to like Saudi Arabia as a country. However, some people question that because of 9/11, a lot of the attackers on the 9/11, September 11th attacks came from Saudi Arabia. But as a country, our countries work pretty closely together, especially because we work against Iran. Both of our countries are not big supporters of the Iran regime. And I think both of us support Israel. I mean, I know we support Israel, and I believe they do too. And we make a lot of money off them as a country, right? They buy a lot of supplies from us, and we obviously get oil from them. And so overall, our countries tend to be pretty good. Well, why does the WWE get wrapped into this? Well, I think it was November 5th or something. The WWE has signed a 10-year contract with Saudi Arabia, the government of Saudi Arabia, which is wild that the WWE would have a contract with the government. And what it says is over these 10 years or whatever, right, they have to perform or put on 10 or so shows a year, or not a year, in total. Okay, so this many shows in total. They've already done one. Okay, and and WWE agreed, and they're getting paid millions, I mean millions of dollars. Like not a couple million, like millions of dollars to do these shows. All right, and I think it's a way to try to change the image of Saudi Arabia, right, and kind of bringing them more towards like a more Western type image. Okay, well, this event that was supposed to happen like on November 5th might not be happening now. I mean, it's really interesting. I'm checking it day by day because a lot of Congress people and stuff, they don't want the WWE to go there because of all this tension now, government-wise, with what happened to this guy. And, you know, should we be supporting and helping and communicating with a country like Saudi Arabia who would purposely silence or kill someone that was speaking out against them. Now, that's not totally proven true yet. Okay, I mean, Saudi Arabia has denied that it was their government's like responsibility, and it was more individuals that worked for the government. So we'll have to keep our eye on this. I mean, it's just, to me, it's really interesting to see what the WWE and companies going forward will do. Like, are they actually going to go there for their event on November 5th called, you know, and it's really weird because even people like Brock Lesnar, if you know who he is, like, he kind of doesn't even work for the company anymore, but he's going to go back just because he's going to make like $1 million for one fight. And Shawn Michaels, another wrestler, he was supposed to go back again, like for one fight. They were paying them so much money that they could pay Shawn Michaels like $1 million for like a 10-minute wrestling match, which is outrageous to me. But anyway, so we're going to have to watch the news, figure out if they actually go. As far as I know, I think they're still going to go, but they're just not going to like advertise that that's where they're at. Okay, because they're still advertising the event. They just now don't mention that it's in Saudi Arabia. But who knows? Maybe they're going to move it. But if they move it, they're going to be losing fat millions, actually, millions of dollars. So it'll be interesting to see. And it's interesting that these two things, WWE, the U.S. government, and politics, have collided in the world of For Josh Freehill's Sake. My two loves. Well, and I like my family. All right. Hope you guys are having a good one. Bye.